Telecast with Chuck Burton, whose blog is the Lehigh. Tell me again. Lehigh.
Oh, sure. It's Lehigh Football Nation.
Lehigh Football Nation. He's an avid fan of Lehigh University's athletic program. I would say especially the football team, but also basketball or anything Lehigh. And
yeah, slap a L on it, a Lehigh. I'm pretty much a fan, I guess.
and last time I looked, which was yesterday, Chuck had something like 471,000 hits on his blog, and I calculated about 2,000 hits in 1 week. So that is pretty interesting. So I want to turn this over to Chuck to tell us about what a blog is, who blogs and why, and how you can start your own blog. And then in the middle I may have a few questions for him. So go ahead, Chuck.
Okay. Basically, I guess if you start out by just saying what is a blog, if you go on Wikipedia, or you go on Google, and you go and say what is one? It would say it says basically a blog is a type of website usually maintained by an individual with regular entries of commentary, descriptions of events, or other material. So it's kind of like a dry, sort of definition of it. But you could really define it better by just saying it's a method to express. There's different types of blogging. There's blogging where you write actually a whole entry, which might be a whole basically a page or more worth of content. And then there's microblogging, where you kind of cram your thoughts into 120 characters or less. That's what Twitter does today. So if you wanted to do it, you could start blogging on Twitter. If you sign up for Twitter, you can do it all in 120 characters. I've been blogging for quite a long time. I've been blogging since 2003, and I'll get into the story later of how I started that. But it's kind of evolved now, where a blog sometimes has a lot of content, and then a microblog is just if you need to say something really quickly, you can do that. Going on to the next question, which is who blogs and why. Folks who blog basically come in about 4 flavors. This is just kind of what I've fix-it person. And the fix-it person is someone who has some sort of special knowledge that they want to share with some people. I take this as someone for example, someone who knows how to build something in the house. They own an old house and they know how to, for example, change the plumbing in it. It's a special type of plumbing, let's say, and they want to be able to share with the world their knowledge. They know this specialty information, and they want to be able to share it with the people who care about it. That's the one type of person. So like a fix-it person. It doesn't have to be fix it for a home, but it's just anyone with some sort of special knowledge. It could be someone who knows code. It can be someone who knows about dogs. It could be something like that. But it's someone who has someone who blogs. Another type is the seeker. Someone who has some sort of experience. It could be a good or a bad experience and wants to share it with others. So if someone went on a trip to somewhere, they might want to share their experience to find other people who have maybe been to a certain place, and then to share their experience with them. The third type of person I'd say who blogs is the opinionator, who's you could think of this in terms of someone who's into politics, or someone like the talking heads on MSNBC or Fox News or something. And then they're the type of people who have very strong opinions about things. They can be political, they can be about other specific topics, but then they're very, very strong opinions. And the fourth person, the last type of person that generally types to blog, is the reporter. So when there's some sort of news happening in the world, for example when Iran was having their elections, and a lot of people feel that the election was stolen. Well, there were a lot of people who had blog postings from these countries saying, this is what the real truth is, not what you see on TV with Ahmadinejad is celebrating in the streets. This is the real news, and this is the way for them. Those type of people want to. All these things have in common is that they just want to share certain ideas. They can have they're all different types of ideas to share, but they all have different kind of little subtleties to them. There's some people with problems need solving, some people with news items that they feel need to get, stuff like that. moving on to starting your own blog, it's one of the reasons why blogging has taken off and has been so popular is that it's very easy to get started. There's a lot of free blogging services. As a matter of fact, I just started mine in 2003 using a free service called Blogger.com. At the time it was independent. Now it's owned by Google. But the beautiful part about Blogger is that it's free. You don't have to pay anything to maintain it, and all your blog postings get saved in Blogger world. So I don't have to actually store my stuff anywhere unless I want to take it off the blog and like save it on a word processor or something. But if everything that's that can be seen online or on the World Wide Web is all out on the internet, and anyone can pretty much see that at any time. I don't have to pay to store it. There are a few other pretty good free services you can use too. Two of the most popular ones are called TypePad, and another one is WordPress. WordPress is kind of a smaller one, but it's very popular. Especially like it's more of an up-and-comer. There are a lot of tools in there that people enjoy using, and TypePad is kind of more of a corporate solution. But there's also, and both TypePad and WordPress have free solutions, but you might have to go around the site and look at them to see where their free options are. Sometimes it isn't very clear. If you just go on to WordPress and say, I want to start a blog, they will point you right away to their, well, here you can host your own, blog. It only costs you $19.99, and then you look on the fine print. It says, oh, start your free one right here. So that's so those are the easiest ways to probably start a blog with a large amount of content. You could also start a Twitter account if you wanted to just put your thoughts on 120 characters or less. But if you want to really express good ideas, I tend to prefer the old style of blogging, which is on Blogger, which allows you to pretty much put any length of thought that you could come up with online. You can really develop things a little bit better. With Twitter, it's okay, but you end up having to cram it in that small space, and it's kind of hard to. Twitter is really, I think, for another purpose. If you want to really express ideas, Blogger's a better way than to do Twitter. Twitter's just like to do a really quick thought. That's really what I would do.
Well, Twitter, let me just interrupt you for 1 second.
Sure.
Twitter is like, you just fill in that blank. It's not a blog like your blog, is it?
That's correct. It's not. It's my blog. I can talk at length about like the topics. For my blog, of course, my topic is I kind of get into the story of it a little bit. I started it in 2003. I didn't go into the Lehigh Football Nation to conquer the world. I really just wanted to go in because I was a very passionate Lehigh football fan, and that's what I thought originally, I guess, it would be for. I was going to talk about Lehigh football, and people who are interested in Lehigh football were going to come to my site, and they were going to read about it, and then I could build a community, I guess, a little bit in that way. It's kind of grown into something a lot more. It is, I guess, the cornerstone of it is football, and that is the priority of it. But as you were saying, Lonnie, before, that now I find it kind of growing into other things. So now that Lehigh, for example, this week has been selected for basketball in the NCAA tournament for both the men and the women. So I've been talking a lot about basketball lately, not unsurprisingly, because they've been doing well. So what I found is that it's kind of built on what I started on, and then it's been doing more. When it comes for Twitter, I guess this brings it back to Twitter. If you start with Twitter and you're just expressing your very small thoughts, I think it's hard to build an audience or what you're really about. So that's why I think it's helpful, just if you're getting started, to do a regular blog first and to kind of build what you want to write about. When it comes to writing in general, it's always better the more you write, the better you get. So the more you write and the more you do blog, after you've gotten to a certain point, then putting your smaller thoughts on Twitter to communicate to a wide audience might make a lot of sense.
Okay. So you started the blog just for the love of the football game at your alma mater, and your reason for starting it was just to share with the world and be proud and jump up and down and stuff, right?